Welcome. We're recording now. We're live. Let's go in. Today's all about strength. Today's all about building the power and strength to move with control and move the body weight at will. We're building strength, and so we need the correct preparation. The wrists especially. Let's start to make some circles over the wrists. We want our arms to be straight because when the arms are straight, the force goes through the bones. And the bones can hold more weight and more resistance than the muscles. So let's make sure we make circles in both directions. We can try to start getting the spine. Fancy word to explain this motion is undulation. To undulate the spine. Move like Shakira, baby. Get into the spine, make those circles over the wrists, keep the arms nice and straight, and stay with a reasonable amount of engagement here. The core is active, definitely active. Good. On the inhale, let's bring the chest through the arms. Tailbone comes high. Exhale, round the upper back, tucking the tailbone underneath. Inhale, chest through, move with your own breath. Lengthen the breath. Good. A few more times now. On the exhale, make sure to really press through the ground. This should feel a little bit tiring, guys. Should feel a little fatigue because we're pressing so strongly. We're activating all those muscles in the upper back, the shoulders, the wrists. Good. Let's come back to a kneeling pose. And we'll take one hand in front and the other, we place the top of the hand on the ground. Let's lean back and just stretch out the top of the forearm. This is the one that we neglect. Until now we were neglecting this one. Now we pay attention to it. Let's swap sides. Lean back, make sure the arm is straight, and use the hand in front to give you that support so it's not too intense. Good. Let's come back onto all fours. The wrist should feel okay right now, but let's give it a little bit of a challenge. Let's bring the knees in. Now we can do this with tucked toes like a ballerina, or we untuck the toes, whatever way around that is. Whichever way you want. Squeeze the legs together, grip the ground through the fingers and the thumbs, arms nice and straight, shoulder blades separated. Big inhale. Exhale, take the hips up high. The head comes through the shoulders, squeezing through the core for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back to a kneel on the toes. Let's reverse any tension that was created in the toes. We can use our hands in front for support. Stretch out the toes. This is a different kind of strength. This is that ballerina strength, guys. This is that Jean-Claude Van Damme strength. Let's go one more time, guys. Bring the knees in. If you want more of a challenge, bring the knees closer. Ballerina toes for extra challenge. Tuck the toes if that's too much, and that's okay. Grip the ground, push through the arms, lock them nice and straight. The fingers are gripping the ground, the thumbs, the pinkies, everything. Legs are squeezed together. Feet squeezed together. Big inhale. Exhale. Take the hips up high. Squeeze here for 10, 9, straighten the arms, 7, 6, squeeze, 5, 4, 3, press through the arms, 2, and 1. Tuck the toes if they weren't already, lean back, undo the damage. Undo the damage of those ballerina feet. Good. This is going to be a luxury right now. Let's take a child's pose. Knees nice and wide, big toes together, arms out in front. Use this as an opportunity to come to the breath. To accept your current state of mind, your current state of being and body. Come to a place of acceptance right now. This is a window of time and investment in you. Strength and flexibility. Let's go, guys. Let's go in to the cave. Let's go into the dungeon, guys. Let's go in to face the dragon. So, feet placed about 6 inches apart. Let's tuck the toes, grip the ground with the fingers and thumbs. Press back into downward facing dog. Warming up the back of the legs now. Well, on the entrance to the cave, the dragon's lair. We're warming into the back of the legs. And let's start to get into the upper body now. Let's inhale, float into a nice high plank. Exhale with or without the knees, chaturanga. Inhale, chest comes up into cobra. Breathe. It's always good to take a few extra breaths in cobra, pulling the shoulders back, pressing through the arms, creating openness in the spine. Let's come back to downward facing dog. Take the hips up high, the heels down to the ground, pressing through the arms, pulling the head all the way through. Let's go once more. Inhale, float to high plank with or without the knees. 5 push-ups, slow, controlled. 1, 2, 3, engage, 5. Let's inhale into Cobra. Release tension in the glutes. Breathe and open through the chest. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Heels come down to the ground. Hips nice and high. Shoulders engaged. Let's take the right leg up. Pulling the left heel down towards the ground. As we exhale, 3-legged plank position. With the right knee coming towards the right tricep. Squeeze through the ground. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to 3-legged dog. Let's get a little stretch in. Let's take the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Lizard pose. Still pressing through the hands. Still breathing deeply. Let's take a variation of pyramid pose. Straighten through both legs. Always with the option to take the right toes to the sky, coming high onto the fingertips as well. Breathe. And allow yourself to deepen. Right foot places back on the ground, back into lizard pose. Why not let's twist onto the outer edge of both feet. Take the right arm up to the sky. And for a bonus, core strength, press through the left arm. Squeeze the left side of the core of the abs. Squeeze, raising the hips up towards the sky. And then let's bring the hand back down to the ground. Come back to downward facing dog. And let's go through the same on the left side. Left leg comes up, right heel pulls down to the ground. Breathe. Float into the high plank. Bring the right knee to the left tricep for 5, 4. Squeeze through the arms. 3, 2. Grip the ground. And 1. Back to 3-legged dog. Let's take the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Lizard pose, gaze forwards. Come high up onto the fingertips if you've got a lot of rounding going on, a lot of rounding in the upper spine. Press through the fingertips. Breathe. Pyramid variation, lengthening through both legs, pulling back on the right heel, with the option to take the left toes to the sky. Inhale, make the spine long. Exhale, bring the belly to the thigh. Left foot comes back onto the ground. Let's twist onto the outer edge of both feet, pressing through the right arm. Left arm comes up towards the sky. We can either sink deeper to get more of a hip opening stretch here, or we can press through the hips, creating more core engagement. Choose or do both. Whichever you do, go to the pinnacle. Come deeper into this twisted lunge. Sinking deep into this variation of a lizard pose. It's almost like a half pigeon. We're getting a real good hip opener. Left hand comes to the ground. tuck the toes, and let's press back to downward facing dog. That's the first round done, guys. Let's inhale, float to a high plank, with or without the knees. Exhale, 5 push-ups. Breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale into Cobra. Continue to breathe, relax the glutes, especially if you feel a pinch in the lower back. Press through the arms. Go on then, let's take a child's pose. Knees come nice and wide, big toes together, sit back and enjoy a rest. Breathe and regenerate. Remember, you can take child's pose whenever you want to take it, but that was just a nice little bonus. Let's come back to downward facing dog. This time, let's start with the left side. Left leg comes up, right heel squeezes down towards the ground, press it down, float into a high plank, left knee to the left tricep, squeeze. Bring the knee high towards the armpit for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's twist onto the right heel and open into a side plank variation. Now we can use the left foot for support, or we can take the left leg, the left knee, nice and high, squeeze through the core, even with a bonus to straighten through the left leg, raising through the right arm, squeezing through the ground. It's hard to talk when I'm doing this. And let's relax. Back into three-legged dog. And we'll twist over to the opposite side. Let's take that leg over to the right side. Raising through the left arm. Pressing through the ground with the right arm. And back to downward facing dog. Let's go for the second side, for the next side. Let's go round side, right side, raises up, left heel squeezes down to the ground. Let's take the right knee to the right tricep or higher, squeeze for 5, 4, breathe, 3, 2, 1. Twist to the side, use your leg as a support or squeeze the right knee up, press through the ground, activate the right side of the body completely. Maybe even extend through the right leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come back to three-legged dog and take the right leg over the left side. Raising through the right arm, pressing through the left. We can take the right toes away from the ground if we want the extra challenge too. Let's come back to three-legged dog with or without the right foot. That's always a little bit of a challenge. Final time with the push-ups. Inhale, float to a high plank with or without the knees. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Sphinx pose. Definitely time for Sphinx pose. Elbows placed underneath the shoulders. Fingers spread nice and wide in front. Lengthen the neck. Unshrug the shoulders. activating the muscles in the lower back. Breathe. Okay, let's take the hands to the sides of the chest. Inhale, come up onto the knees. Exhale, press back into downward facing dog. I think we've got one more round in us, guys, to go into the dark dungeons. Let's go one more time. We're in downward facing dog. The head is pulled all the way through. The right leg comes up, left heel squeezes down to the ground. And when we're ready, we come into a high plank, right knee squeeze towards the right tricep. Take it higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to three-legged dog. Let's take the right knee to the left tricep. This is a twist. Press through the ground for 5, 4. Do the best that you can. 3, 2. Squeeze the ground. 1. Back to three-legged dog. Like step the right foot in between the hands. Low lunge. Reaching through the arms with the option to take a nice little back bend. Breathe and deepen. Lengthening on the inhale. Deepening on the exhale. Hands come down to the ground. Let's sit back into the hips. Right toes come up to the sky. Supporting ourselves with the fingers. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, forward fold. Half split. Inhale. And exhale, a little bit deeper. Let's bring the sole of the right foot back onto the ground. Press back into downward facing dog. Nice one, guys, we're almost there. This is beautiful. Left leg comes up, right heel squeezes down to the ground. Let's bring the left knee towards the left tricep, squeeze. Or higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come back to three-legged dog. And let's bring the left knee to the right tricep, squeeze for 5, 4, just do your best. 3, press through the ground. 2, and 1. Three-legged dog. And let's step the left foot in between the hands. Right knee comes onto the ground. Inhale, reach. Deepening on the exhale. Lengthening on the inhale. Deepening on the exhale. Gently taking a back bend. And let's bring the hands to the ground. Sitting back onto the right hip. Left toes come up to the sky. Let's sink nice and deep, using the fingers for support. Chest comes up on the inhale, exhale. Bring the head towards the toes. Left foot comes to the ground. And let's come back to downward facing dog. Alright guys, we're going to do 4 sets of push-ups. Yeah, turns out there was a secret boss. So let's inhale, float to a high plank. Separate the shoulder blades at the end of every single rep, with or without the knees. Exhale down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's come into a cobra. Do more push-ups if you want to do more push-ups. It's up to you. We're in cobra. On every breath, taking it down into the lower back, regaining breath. And when we're ready, let's come back to downward facing dog. Now keeping the legs as straight as possible, let's walk the hands to the feet. Keep the legs nice and straight, squeeze the belly in towards the thighs. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Raise through the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe taking a gentle bend at the knees. Taking hold of each elbow. Maybe even pulling the head through the shoulders. Fully allowing the body to relax towards the ground. Let's reverse a lot of the stuff that we've just done for the upper body strength. Let's inhale, float the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. This is all about reversing the tension that we may have just created in the body. So let's bring the hands behind the back, clasp the fingers together, squeeze the hands down towards the ground, open through the chest, and exhale, forward fold. Good. Open through the upper spine, open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades down and together. Keep the arms nice and straight. Squeeze the belly into the thighs. Gently pull the arms overhead. Inhale, raise through the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, hands together. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhale, sweep through the arms again. Exhale, back into chair pose. Sitting the hips nice and low, raising through the arms, relaxing the shoulders, squeeze the legs together like you're trying to squeeze a watermelon. Well, that dragon that we just defeated through all that strength training was squeezing the skull of the dragon in our thighs. Reach through the arms and forward fold. Inhale, raise through the chest. Let's step the left leg to the back of the mat. Low lunge. And we're going to take a nice twist into the spine. Let's raise through the left arm, become nice and long. And we take the left elbow around the right leg. Palms squeeze together. And we twist. Breathe deeply. If you feel any restrictions in the breath, that means you should come out slightly. Always with the option to press through the left toes, straightening through the right leg or the left leg. come back down to the ground with the hands. Press back into downward facing dog. Let's step the left foot in front of the body. Right knee comes to the ground. Raise through the right arm, making sure our left knee is above the left ankle, by the way. And bringing the right knee around the left arm. Palms squeeze together. Exhale and twist. With the option to press through the right toes. Inhale, expand. Exhale, twist deeper. Gazing behind over the left shoulder. Sinking deeper into the lunge. And deeper into the twist. Unravel. Bringing the hands back down to the ground. And press back into downward facing dog. Let's take the right leg up towards the sky. Left heel squeezes down. And let's enjoy a nice pigeon pose. Right knee comes behind the right wrist. Right foot comes towards the left wrist. Peeling back through the left toes. Inhale, come nice and high. Start to open into the hips. Tilting through the pelvis. When you're ready, let's deepen onto the forearms, relax. Bringing the forehead onto the ground. Maximizing the stretch and harmonizing with the breath. And now just allow everything to relax in this posture. Just let go of any tension or resistance. Good. Let's walk the left toes in. Come back up onto the hands. Press back into downward facing dog. Right leg is still up nice and high. Shake it off. And let's take the same restful opening for the hips on the left side. Left leg comes up. Right heel squeezes down. Bring the left knee behind the left wrist and the left ankle towards the right wrist. Peeling back through the right toes, come up nice and high. Starting to open into that left hip. It really is worth being patient here to get the correct position. Tilting through the pelvis to really get into the opening on the left side of the hips. When we've got that down, let's come onto the forearms and sink deeper into the posture, bringing the head towards the ground. Maximize the stretch by pulling back through the right toes, or by doing what works for you. This is the time to discover details, things that work for you. Discover them right now through experimentation. This is what the yoga's about, guys. And relax everything in this posture. Take some nice long breaths. Good, let's come onto our hands. And let's just sit down. Sitting down. Now we're going to use this as an opportunity to just stretch out the neck. A very key part of the body that we oftentimes neglect. So I'm feeling a lot of tension in my neck right now from all of that pushing and squeezing. So let's stretch out the neck especially. Let's bring the left hand over the right side of the head. Drop the left shoulder away from the head as we gently pull the head down. Breathe and actively pull down the right shoulder towards the ground. Squeeze. Stay nice and tall in the spine. And then just flow to the back of the neck. Start stretching out the back of the neck. Do it where it feels good, guys. You are the guide now. I put the orb of power in your hands right now. Guide yourself through the neck stretches, the back of the neck. Do what feels good. Making sure to get both sides on all angles. Feeling into it fully and finally coming to the stretch on the opposite side of the neck. The left side of the neck. Right shoulder squeezes down towards the ground. We're pulling gently on the head. And left shoulder squeezes towards the ground whilst the spine is nice and tall. The breath is long and deep. And let's stretch out the front of the neck. Again, guide yourself, but a top tip is to take the chin up towards the sky. Take the chin up and make some big arcs from left to right. I even like to pull down on the skin of the neck. I know it sounds gross. I know it sounds gross. But reach the chin up and pull down on the skin. This absolutely maximizes the stretch. Take your time. Oh, good, and then shake it off. Shake that off. Let's come on to our seat. And let's bring the heels to the outer edges of the mat. Let's sit the hips nice and close to the heels, coming back onto our backs. Squeeze the knees in towards the chest, maybe even hug them with your arms. Let's bring the heels onto the ground with the feet placed very close to the body and at the outer edges of the mat. Taking hold of both ankles. Inhale, raise through the hips into bridge pose and round the shoulders underneath if you can. Squeeze the hips up, breathe deep, release any tension that doesn't need to be there. Tension in the shoulders. Release the tension. And maximize engagement where it matters. The hips, the glutes, the low back. And let's slowly release. Untucking the shoulders, taking a short break, taking a short rest. Again, let's take hold of both of the ankles. Inhale, raise through the hips. Take the shoulders underneath. Squeeze. Relax any tension away that doesn't need to be there, especially in the shoulders, the upper back and neck. Press through the heels. Bring the ribs nice and high. And slowly release. Squeezing the knees into the chest and hugging the knees together. Let's go for a few more bridge variations. So, if you feel comfortable to take some variation of wheel pose, let's go and do that right now. We'll do that. If not, let's stick with variations of bridge pose. So if you're staying in bridge pose, bring the hands together underneath, clasp the fingers together. Why don't we all just do this together right now? We might as well. Raise through the hips and bring the shoulders underneath. Squeeze the arms down towards the ground. Again, releasing tension in the upper back and neck. Pressing through the heels. Maybe even walking the heels a little bit closer if you feel you can go deeper. And release. Now, if you want to go extra deep and you want to attempt the wheel pose, let's go for that. Otherwise, continue with the same posture that we just did. Let's bring the heels nice and close to the body, squeeze them in and take them to the outer edges of the mat. And the hands come underneath the shoulders for wheel pose, otherwise prepare for bridge. Inhale, push forward so we come onto the toes, press onto the head. Now don't worry so much about pressing through the arms if this is where you come to. Focus more on trying to get the heels to the ground. We're using the head for balance. We're adjusting the position of the head, using the hands as support, but we want to bring the heels to the ground. Press through the arms so that we're taking any tension from the neck, and if we can, press fully through the arms into wheel pose, otherwise staying where you are and maximizing in that position. When you're ready, come back down onto the back, squeeze the knees in, release that tension, and squeeze the knees in. And take the feet up to the sky. Hands at the sides of the body with a little bit of a push. Come up onto the upper back, high on the shoulders. Hips nice and high. And if it feels comfortable, allow the legs to come overhead. Breathe deeply and consistently. Try and keep the legs away from the face. Squeeze through the legs, and this will bring the hips nice and high so you don't suffocate yourself. Just breathe. And when it's time for you, slowly unravel. Releasing tension from the shoulders, bringing the upper spine back onto the ground. The middle spine. Feel the tension. Massage the spine up and down. Coming into the lower back. Do what feels good. And let's bring the knees close. Take them in the hands. Just gently resting in this posture. If the legs naturally open, allow them to naturally open. Release any tension from the shoulders and the neck. And when you're ready, fully relax into Shavasana. Legs outstretched, naturally distanced apart. Arms at the sides of the body. Get comfortable, guys. Fidget around, really fidget around if you need to. Get comfortable, because this is an important posture. Fix yourself, guys, fix yourself. Maybe get your light blockers out, whatever it is. Palms faced up, rested on the ground. Thankful to the body, to life, to practice so strong. Finding a natural breath and gently closing the eyes if you haven't already. Feel how the body feels. Let's bring our awareness and our attention to the toes. Feel each toe with your awareness. Feel in between the toes, just by placing your attention there. Feel into the soles of the feet. Feel into the heels. As a bonus for your mental health right now, every part of the body we go through, also come to a place of appreciation for that body part and understand the immensity and the details, the complexity, the perfection of the human body and life itself. Bring our attention to the ankles. Relax through the ankles. Appreciate the ankles and all they help us do. The calves. Bringing our attention to the knees. Feel that appreciation if it feels natural. I'm not going to tell you to do it. It's up to you. Feel into the hamstrings and the quads. Relax. The hips and the glutes. The pelvic region. Reproductive organs. Big thanks. Big appreciation. bringing our attention into the belly, feeling into the belly, feeling into the chest, thankful for the organs, the vital organs, for every function of the body that we don't have to think about, like breathing, like digestion, like circulation of blood, like assimilation of nutrients. There's so much that's happening behind the scenes. Feel into the belly and the chest and give a big, big, big thanks, big up to everything that's happening behind the scenes. In our bodies, in our lives. Feel into the body. Bring your awareness into the fingers. Feel into the fingers. Appreciation for the fingers, the palms. Relax it all. The wrists. Feel it all with a neutral mind. Doesn't necessarily feel good, doesn't feel bad, doesn't feel annoying, just feels the way it feels. Feel it with a neutral mind. The attention comes to the elbows, the biceps and triceps, the shoulders, relax the shoulders and the neck. If you need to move, that's okay. Relax the neck completely. The jaw, relax the jaw. The mouth, the cheeks. Relax the eyes, the sides of the head. The center of the head, the forehead, and finally bring the attention to the top of the head. Bring your attention to that single point at the top of the head. Feel into the entire body at once. Rest. And sending the intention right now to boost the recovery of our muscles, joints, ligaments and tendons. To live free in the body, healthy and able. and to accelerate the regeneration and the growth in strength and ability within our bodies. Let's start to move through the body, wake into the body. Stretch in any way that you feel you need. And when you're ready, find your way back to seated. And just sitting with that stillness, sitting with this feeling, whatever state you're in right now. Become aware of what state you're in right now. How does it feel compared to before? Was this a good thing? Maybe tomorrow it won't feel like a good thing. But ultimately, I'm gonna tell you that it's a good thing. Move in any way that you need to as we finish this class. I'm gonna check out with strength and love, and I'm gonna just say right now, Namaste. Thank you for coming to class as always.